This is a video on the Wizard subclass, the Baldur's Gate 3. Wizards use their intelligence to cast their spells. The higher their intelligence, the more damage or the more accurate they will be with their spells. This will be their primary ability that they want to level up as much as they can. As a wizard, you're probably going to want high dexterity as well, not only to go first, but to increase your armor class, as wizards cannot equip. If you go out to the wizard here, you'll see they don't have any armor proficiencies. So unless you have a race to get the Yankee here that can get a proficiency in other armors, you could be just stuck to clothing. So high dexterity would be extra important for that. I recommend at least 14 Constitution for your wizard, as it will help you with your concentration savings throws and as well as your health. And similar to other spellcasters, you could get rid of your wisdom and your charisma, especially if you're not the face of the party, as a wizard, to increase your constitution and intelligence. And so then on when we get a feat, we can increase both the constitution and intelligence by 1. Wizards get access to a bunch of different cantrips, more than most spellcasters. There are several to pick from here. If you're the party face, I would highly recommend Friends. Some good ones is just, Firebolt is a good one. Ray of Frost is another good one. Shocking Grasp was good. Bone Chill, Toll the Dead, Mage Hand, Minor Illusion. All these are very good spells that you can use in and out of combat. They do several different things. I will just go with, let's do Ray of Frost, Shocking Grasp, and Minor Illusion, for instance. For spells, wizards get a long list of spells they can choose from. And on top of that, wizards are the only class in the game where they can learn almost every single spell in the game. There are many scrolls throughout the game that you'll find, some that are common, some that are hard to find, and some that are unique, that when you use them as any player in the game, you can cast that spell one time and the scroll is consumed. However, as a wizard, you can, instead of casting it, you can read the scroll for a certain amount of gold, and the wizard will memorize that spell and can add it to the spells he wants to use. So the wizard, the big thing is, when you get scrolls, you want to give it to your wizard so he can learn all these different spells and have access to all of these spells for any situation. At level 1, there's a lot of spells that I really, really enjoy. If no one on your team has Longstrider, I would recommend getting Longstrider. This is a great spell to give everybody in your team an extra 3 movement speed, and if you use a spell outside of combat, it will not use a spell slot, which is huge. Magic Missile is a great spell as it doesn't miss. It's always going to hit, basically. Has 100% accuracy rate. So it's easy to just use this and just kill off enemies that need to be hit. Very good spell. Shield is another great one. It's a reaction spell. So when someone's trying to hit you, you can use this and it'll increase your armor class by 5 until the beginning of your turn. And also, if anybody was to use Magic Missile on you, you could use this spell and take no damage from Magic Missile. This is a very good defensive spell. Some other ones I really enjoy. So for a control standpoint is Sleep. You can select a bunch of targets, and as long as their combined current health is 24 or below, you could put them to sleep. This could be very good as sleep. One of the nice things about sleep is that, so they'll be asleep for 2 turns. They automatically fail strength and dexterity saving throws. Attack rolls against it have advantage, and any attack that hits the creature is a critical hit if the attacker is within 1.5 meters of the creature. So basically, if someone is melee and they go up to someone sleeping, they could hit them and they'll automatically crit. And they'll do basically like double damage or more. So sleep can be very good from a control standpoint. Find Familiar is also very good. So this one is similar to Longstrider, where if you cast it outside of combat, it does not use a spell slot. Actually, I could be wrong on that. I'll look that up in a second here. But yeah, you can summon something to kind of help you. Like a little raven, for instance, can help you maybe scout, or ravens can also blind enemies, which is a very good thing. And it's just another thing for the enemy to target instead of targeting you. Some other ones I really like are Ice Knife, which does some cold damage and piercing damage. This is good early on, but does get outclassed as the game goes on. Burning Hands, it's like a cone of fire you could think of. It's not too bad either. But I really like Chromatic Orb. It's a very versatile spell where it can do, right now it's going to do thunder damage, but I can choose a different type of damage and create a source of, like, if I did fire damage, I can create a some fire underneath the target when I cast it. So I really do like Chromatic Orb. Some other really good ones, though, are Thunder Wave, Witch Bolt, Ray of Sickness is good. Grease is a great control spell as it puts a bunch of grease on the floor, and everybody who tries to walk on it are slow walking on it, meaning they can't go far, and they could fall. On top of that, the grease is flammable, so if you put anything with fire on it, it'll light up the whole entire, all the grease, so everybody on the grease will get hit with fire damage. So this is also another good spell to use. So pick whichever spells you like to pick or how you want to build your wizard. So at level 2, we have a pretty big decision to make, and that is our subclass. Now, right now there's 9 of them, and I will say that I'm going to ignore Blade Singing as this is a subclass that was just released today. So I'll have a different video that goes over the new subclasses that were released today. But there are these 8 other ones, and so some of them are good, some of them I think are pretty useless. Um, we can go through them real quick. So Abjuration is is a very, very good subclass. And the reason why is because it has this thing called Arcane Ward. So it's going to form a ward around you that protects you from harm. Um, the way that this works is whenever you cast an Abjuration spell, which could be like, if I go out here to spells, Mage Armor. Mage Armor, you can see right here, level 1 Abjuration spell, which is also probably a spell I actually want to grab this time around no matter what. Whenever I cast the spell, my Arcane Ward goes up a level. And however many levels it's at, when an enemy attacks me, I take the difference between the damage and my Arcane Ward. So my Arcane Ward reduces the damage by whatever level it is. And then it also, whenever I get hit, the Arcane Ward goes down a level. So we'll just, practically speaking, if the enemy hits me for 12 damage, but my Arcane Ward is at 5, I would take 7 damage. And my Arcane Ward would go from 5 to 4. So the next time they hit me, again, if they hit me again for 4 damage, well, my Arcane Ward is at 4, so I would take 4 minus 4 or 0 damage. The Arcane Ward can go up by casting our Abjuration spells, and I think it also can go off by your wizard level. Also, yeah, it only goes up, I think, a maximum of, I think it's 2 times your wizard level. But yeah, Abjuration is super good. It's a great way to be very defensive. And there will be ways where, as you progress as a Abjuration wizard, where you can put your Arcane Ward on someone else. So you could put it on someone on the front line who's going to be attacked a bunch. Conjuration is I don't know why it's not showing me all the other things about Conjuration. Conjuration's okay. It's lets you learn Conjuration spells more easily, meaning the scrolls only cost you 25 gold per spell level, not 50. Yeah, Conjuration is oh, here we go. Action. Yeah, yeah. So right now, when you could cast Create Water, which creates it builds a pool of water around an area, and makes everybody in that area wet. This could be good if you are going to be using lightning spells or someone on your team is using lightning spells as light or ice spells, because lightning and ice deal double damage to targets that are wet. But this does cost an action, so if you were to use it, you don't really have you can't use your bonus action to do a lightning spell. You'd have to wait a turn. It's okay. Um, Divination is the idea between them is that after each long rest, you're going to gain 2 random, they call portent dice. And what these do is, let's say you're going to miss, or someone's going to miss an attack. Your portent dice could change that miss into a hit. Or they could do the opposite. They could change a hit into a miss if someone's trying to attack you. So you get 2 of them each day. So they last for an entire long rest. As you get to like, I think like level 5 or 6, I think it's level 6, they'll give you quests throughout the game to recharge your how many important die you get. So you could technically get a lot more than just using the two. You could maybe use like up to 6 then. So yeah, divination is pretty good if you want to make sure, a certain spell hits or something, or something misses. Enchantment is okay as well. The big thing about enchantment, so they'll get this little class action where they can charm and incapacitate a creature and cannot attack you and cannot act for 2 turns. It's not too bad. I think the big thing is that once they hit, I think it's like level 10, they get the ability where if an enchantment spell targets one creature and it can target 2 creatures, which can be very good once you start getting to some high level enchantment spells like Hold Monster or Dominate Person, as you can basically double the effect of those spells. Evocation is going to be your damaging wizard. So the idea with them is they can sculpt their spells. So it says that when you cast an evocation spell, which is almost all damaging spells for the most part, um, all your allies will succeed their saving throws against these spells and take no damage from them. So if I go out here, this is an evocation spell. It's Burning Hands and does like a cone of fire in front of you. If you had an ally by you and you were an evocation subclass wizard, this cone of fire would not hurt any of your allies, which is good. Now, as you get spells that deal in wider ranges of area, like Fireball or Thunderbolt, that could be very helpful. On top of that, evocation wizards, as they level up, I think it's at level 6, they start to deal more damage with evocation spells based off their intelligence. Um, so they get to add extra damage based off their intelligence, which is also nice. Illusion is probably the most useless of the wizard subclasses. Basically you can cast Minor Illusion as a bonus action, but this is Minor Illusion's pretty useless in combat. It's more of a thing that you want to use outside of combat to set up. Maybe you do Minor Illusion where all these people come around to this Minor Illusion, so you huddle them all up, and then you do a big area of effect attack. It's while you're doing it in combat, it's harder for the enemy to follow the minor illusion itself. So illusion, it can be kind of fun at times, but it's really probably the worst of these subclasses. Necromancy. So necromancy gets some pretty interesting stuff. So from the get-go, it's going to say once per turn, if you kill a creature with a spell, you regain hit points equal to twice the spell slot level used, and triple if it's a necromancy spell, but undead and constructs are unaffected. So if I kill something with a level 2 spell, I get twice the slot used. So I would gain 4 hit points. If I used a level 2 necromancy spell, I would get actually 6, as it would triple because it's a necromancy spell. So this restorative hit points is fine. It's nothing too crazy. The big thing is at level 6, necromancy wizards, they'll get the spell Reanimate Dead, which lets you take a corpse and turn it into like a zombie or a skeleton to follow you. But necromancy wizards, they get where anytime you reanimate the dead, you get an additional, you can target an additional corpse. So instead of one zombie or one skeleton, you get 2 zombies and 2 skeletons. This becomes pretty good as you get to higher levels, because Reanimate Dead, the higher you cast that, the more advanced the zombie or skeleton is. So instead of having like one really strong, like flying zombie, uh, for instance, following you, you can have 2, uh, effectively doubling its power. The necromancy spells aren't exactly super strong compared to the evocation spells, but it's still a very good class, and it's one that you would like to do if you want to have a lot of creatures following you, specifically undead creatures. And finally, transmutation. Transmutation can be very good when you want to make a lot of potions, because basically they're going to have when you brew chemical solutions, instead of 1 when combining extracts, you'll get 2. Basically, if as long as you pass a medicine check. Medicine check is actually pretty high. It's 15, and medicine is based off your wisdom. So you're going to want pretty high wisdom. Or I wouldn't say you want pretty high wisdom, but you probably don't want it at 8. So if you were to do this build, I would probably put my Constitution in down 1, Intelligence down 1, put my Wisdom to 12. Um, and do this so that I have a higher chance of when I create a potion, I could possibly create 2 potions. But I don't think it's that important as potions and elixirs are pretty plentiful throughout the game. All this to say, the ones I think are very, very good would be Abjuration, Evocation, and Necromancy. I think also Divination and Enchantment can be very good as well. But I think the ones that are very easy to make great are Abjuration, Evocation, and Necromancy. We'll go Abjuration for now. So I'll pick 2 more spells. Mage Armor is really good for a wizard, especially if you're not wearing any light armor or medium armor or anything like that. If you're just wearing clothing, it'll be very good. Yeah, I'll do that Grease. And so I can prepare which spells I want right here if I wanted to, but I can also just do that in my inventory. So if I open up my inventory, up here is my spell book. So when I click my spell book, it'll show you which ones I have equipped. This is what I have equipped, and these are the spells, the level 1 spells I have access to. So maybe I'm like, okay, I want Longstrider and Mage Armor. Just for right now, because I want to cast them. Okay, so let me cast Longstrider on myself. And you'll see now I have Longstrider as a buff. And let me cast Mage Armor. Oops, I actually have some armor equipped. Hold on a second. Let me just take my boots. So let's cast Mage Armor. Okay, so now I get Mage Armor. Well, I don't really need those 2 things anymore. They last till long rest. So that's good. Oh, I actually did remove that. Well, that was a bad example. Okay, don't do what I just did. Keep your Longstrider in your Mage Armor. I messed up. But yeah, you could equip however, right now you can have 5 spells equipped, so I can always pick out whichever ones I want. So Longstrider, Mage Armor, maybe I want Magic Missile, maybe I want Find Familiar, and Chromatic Orb, for instance. And you can see that these are the spells down here. Yeah, so those are my spells that I have access to. So let's go back to leveling up. So now I'm level 3, I get access to level 2 spell slots. There's a lot of them here for a wizard compared to other subclasses. Ones that are very good, Shatter is very good, Web is very good, Shadow Blade is good, See Invisibility can be good, but probably later on in the game, not so much in the very beginning. Because there are some monsters later in the game that can go invisible, not so often early in the game. Scorching Ray can be good. More high risk, high reward for that one. I would say Misty Step is a good one to you basically teleport using a bonus action in a level 2 spell slot. That could be good to get away from enemies or position yourself. Or Person is always really good. Cloud of Daggers is a very good spell as well. Magic Weapon, you can target a weapon, and as long as you're concentrating on it until long rest, they will get a +1 bonus to their attack and to their damage rolls, which is a good little bonus, makes them more accurate and do a little bit more damage. Melt's Acid Arrow is a good AoE attack as well. And Flaming Spear, you can summon a Flaming Spear and you can move that spear around for 10 turns. You can attack enemies and create fire on the ground. It can be very good. Yeah, and then also Enlarge/Reduce can also be a pretty good one, especially if you have a character that you want to just make larger. So if you have like a fighter with you, you might want to make them larger. They'll do more damage if they're larger. So just depending on how you want to build your character, whether you want them to be support-like or not. Yeah. Now, real quick, we are an Abjuration Wizard. I'm just trying to see which spells are Abjuration. I know Arcane Lock is. We can just get that for fun. Yeah, let's just do that and Shatter, for instance. And again, I can prepare which spells I want. So maybe I just do something like this. Okay, so let me go out. I want to show you the Abjuration Wizard, what I was trying to talk about early on with that Arcane Ward. Okay, so right here, you're going to see I have Arcane Ward. It is, it says 3 turns remaining. But that it's not going to be the same sense of turns like rounds. It's just going to be, right now, it's 3 turns, and it's, I would rather just call it like, it's a level 3 Arcane Ward. It's probably a way better way to really call it. So as you see here, it says, it blocks damage equal to its charges. So we have 3. And then it loses 1 charge. And so if I cast Abjuration spells, it will add charges equal to the level of the spell. So I have Mage Armor, and this is a level 1 Abjuration spell. So if I cast it, that 3 went up to a 4. Now I think if I keep casting it, it's not going to go. I think it can only go up to. I think it's like twice my wizard level. Does it say? Yeah, here you go. Okay. So each time you cast an Abjuration spell, the intensity of the ward increases by the amount of spell level. Yep, yep. After each long rest, the ward's intensity resets and becomes the same as your wizard level. So you always will start, after each long rest, you always will start with an arcane ward of your level. So that's also really nice. Level 4, you can pick another cantrip, whichever one you like. You get 2 more spells, pick whatever you like, and you get a feat. Now for wizards, there's only a few feats that I would really, really recommend. Always ability improvement is one we will recommend for every class. Getting your intelligence to 18 is very good, and you could also, because of the way we set our person up, we could do 1 in intelligence, 1 in constitution, and get them both to an even number. This will give me a lot of health, great for concentration, saving throws, and my intelligence would be at 18. This is very good. Some other ones that are good is dual wielder. Dual wielding staffs as a wizard is extremely good. And something that you might want to do. There's also Spell Sniper. This one's not too bad. You can get a cantrip for free. That's not really the big thing. The big thing is that the number you need to roll a critical hit with spells is reduced by 1. And as obviously as a wizard, you're going to be doing a lot of spells. For now, I'm just going to increase both of these by 1. Now we're at level 5. We finally get access to level 3 spell slots. And here's our level 3s. So these are all, there's some extremely good spells. As always, Fireball and Lightning Bolt are very good spells. They're very big, high damage, area of effect spells. Counterspell is also a very, very good spell, and it's an Abjuration spell, which would increase our Arcane Ward that we have if we're an Abjuration Wizard. I really definitely like getting Counterspell. Haste is another good spell, as it can buff your party members to do more actions and everything. But yeah, look around, see which ones you might want for your level 3. I highly recommend probably some combination of Counterspell and Fireball / Lightning Bolt as your first go around. These are both very, very good spells. One is very good offensively, one is very good defensively. At level 6, you're going to get a subclass feature based off of the type of wizard you picked. So for Abjuration, we can get Projected Ward. So this is what I was trying to say, that you can start putting your ward on other people. So when a nearby ally takes damage and you have an Arcane Ward active, you can sacrifice your ward to reduce the damage they take. So basically, you're going to take your ward and you're going to put it on them for a turn, and they're going to get reduced damage. Your ally is, which could be very good. It could be a great way to save them. Some other spells I really like, maybe I want Sleet Storm, which is a great way of just putting a bunch of ice on the field, making people slip. It can stop enemies from concentrating on spells. Slow is also another good one. Stinking Cloud is really good. You make a big cloud where anybody in it can't take actions, so it's really good for choke points. If you know the enemies are going to be coming through the door, maybe I put this Stinking Cloud up there, and now they can't really do much. That could always be very good. Wizard level 7, you're going to get access to level 4 spells now. There's a lot to choose from. Wall of Fire is always good. Ice Storm, another very good one. You can conjure a minor elemental, and so you have another. You have an elemental, a minor one, follow you around, protect you, keep you safe, and which is also always good. Banishment is also another really good spell. If you want, this is Ever's Black Technicals. It's a little similar to the Warlock's Hunger of Hadar. What it does is it's gonna turn the ground into difficult terrain, so their movement speed is halved, and it's gonna smother creatures. So what the smothering does is, if they're going to be restrained by their dark tentacles, and if they don't save against it, they can't move. And every turn, they take 3 to 18 bludgeoning damage per turn. You also get attack rolls with advantage against it, and they all have disadvantage against it. So this could be very good. They use their strength to save against it, so it's not going to be that good against enemies that are, super buff. But it could be good against like mages. Obviously, like they're not gonna be able to get away. They're not really strong. This is super good to just lock down some mages and other maybe weaker from a strength standpoint classes. So yeah, they all go Ever's Technicals and Wall of Fire. Mind you, these are both concentration spells, so you can only do one of them at a time. Um, Next, level 8, we're going to get 2 more spells to pick from and a feat. Pick whatever spells you want. Again, another good time to either go, I'd say either Intelligence up to 20 if you don't have it at 20 by now, or Dual Wielder. So let's go, we'll just do our Intelligence at 20 for this time around. But if you already have it at 20, I suggest going Dual Wielder. So you can hold 2 staffs. Now we get access level 5 spells. There's a lot here. It looks like there's like 9 more to choose from. Some really good ones, Conjure Elemental. So if you don't have Minor Elemental, maybe Conjure Elemental would be a really good one. They're stronger than the Minor Elementals, obviously. You can do Dominate Person. And again, if you were an Enchantment Wizard, this is an enchantment spell that's really good because at level 10, Enchantment Wizards can target two targets that would when they could only otherwise target one. So you could do Dominate Person on 2 people for the price of 1. Same with Hold Monster and Planar Binding. So these are some really good control spells. Actually, Planar Binding is an Abjuration spell, but these 2 are enchantment spells that you can do really well with your Enchantment Wizard. Cone of Cold is a very strong spell, and so is Cloud Kill. Yeah, maybe pick a mix of the 2. At Wizard level 10, we're going to get another subclass feature. So Abjuration, they say each time you take a short rest, you increase your Arcane Ward by an amount equal to your Wizard level. This is very good. So every time you short rest, your Arcane level at this point is obviously going to go up by 10. We're level 10 Wizard. So that's really good. Some of the other classes like the Necromancer, this is when they can I think at like level 10, they're resistant to necrotic damage, for instance. Depending on what class you pick, or subclass you pick of the wizard, you'll get some extra bonuses. Again, the enchantment wizard at level 10, he can target 2 targets with an enchantment spell that would only target 1. You get another cantrip spell. Whatever one you want to pick is fine for the most part. And then yeah, pick your 2 spells that you would like. And then we get to level 11, we're going to get a level 6 spell slot. And so we have access to all the level 6 spells, and there's some pretty crazy good ones that no one else has access to. So Wall of Ice, you raise a Wall of Ice, it deals 10 to 60 damage to anyone standing in its way. And then when the ice is broken, whenever you break it, it leaves behind a cloud of frigid air that also deals another 10 to 60. So this Wall of Ice, super strong, probably the best wall in the game. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And because it's ice, when they try to go through it, they also could slip and stay in there for another turn, taking another 10 to 60 damage. Sunbeam, very good as well. I've talked about it in some other class builds, but yeah, it's you can blind creatures. It's a big ray of sunlight, and you can move it every turn as long as you have concentration. Odo's Irresistible Dance is a very good spell that bards have access to. It makes the person dance, and it's very hard to save against it, I believe, and so you get advantage on attack rolls against it, and they can't take any actions. It's a good control spell, and again, it's an enchantment spell, so enchantment wizards can do some really good stuff with this. Unlike Freezing Sphere, so you create a ball of churning ice that can be launched instantly to generate a frosty explosion, or you can store for later use. So you can create this thing and just keep it with you till a different time, and you can use it whenever. This is really cool. It's just basically it's a big ice explosion that you get to use. Blow of Invulnerability is also super good, and it's Abjuration, so it'll increase your Arcane Ward if you're an Abjuration Wizard. Anybody within this dome that you summon is immune to all damage, which is super good. Flesh to Stone, you could turn someone into stone after 3 turns. That could be very good. Eye Bite is very situational, but you can ultimately put certain enemies to sleep that are very hard to typically put to sleep. Disintegrate is the strongest, one of the strongest spells in the entire game. You do 50 to 100 force damage. It's super good. You can create undead, so you can raise a mummy to your side to fight by your side. This is very good, especially if you don't have a Conjure Minor Elemental or the Conjure Elemental spell. Circle of Death is the strongest necromancy spell. It does 8 to 48 damage in a wide area. And if you go necromancy, this is going to be the spell that you're really going to want, because as you kill, every time you kill someone with this spell, the level 6 spell, and necromancers, remember, if they kill someone, they get, with a necromancy spell, they get to restore hit points equal to 3 times the level of the spell. So they would restore 18 for every hit points for every person they killed with Circle of Death. Chain Lightning is also very, very good. It's a big, it strikes an enemy with lightning, and then 3 more bolts will jump from the target and hit up to 3 other enemies within 18 meters, which is a wide range. So this is just, hey, it's just going to smack a bunch of creatures for 10 to 80 damage. And then Arcane Gate, we've talked about this before. This is very niche. There is some setup you could do with it. It's a little bit hard to do in multiplayer, but there's some fun things that you could do with it. It's just a teleportation between 2 portals, though. So yeah, maybe I'll just go a little bit of invulnerability, and let's go Ice. And finally, Wizard level 12. You get access to 2 more level 6 spell slots. You don't get an additional, you get 2 more level 6 spells that you can pick, but you do not get additional level 6 spell slots. So you still can only cast that level 6 spell slot once a day. There are ways to recharge your level 6 spell slot through certain items, but those are extremely rare to find. So pick whichever you want. And then finally, if your intelligence is not at 20, usability improvement to get it at 20. If it already is at 20, get dual wielder. If you have it at 20 and dual wielder, I would go Spell Sniper as a wizard. You could also go Warcaster if you're concentrating on a lot of spells and you don't want to lose that concentration. So like an enchantment wizard might want to go Warcaster, because it means that they have advantage on saving throws to maintain their concentration. And I think like all enchantment spells are basically concentration spells. So this means that you won't stop concentrating on your on enchanting them. So this could also be very good if you're an enchantment wizard or someone that uses a lot of concentration spells. And for the most part, that's what Wizard's going to do. There's one little thing also that Wizards have access to, and as you level up, you'll get to use this thing called Arcane Recovery, and it just replenishes your spell slots out of combat. And so you'll see I have 6 right here. So if I click it, I can use 1 Arcane Recovery charge to recover 1 level 1 spell slot. But as you go up and, every spell slot level costs that many Arcane Recovery charges. So at max level, you'll have 6. So but it will not let you recharge a level 6 spell slot, unfortunately. But you can do a level 5 and a level 1. You could do a 4 and a 2. You could do 2 3s. You could do 6 1s. 3 2s, etc. Whatever combination you want to do to get some spell slots back. So use this to your advantage in order to make some, to get your spell slots back. Otherwise, that's really it for the wizard. Again, if you want real quick, I can show. So if I look up you'll be getting different scrolls throughout the game, and as you level up, you will be able to read some of these scrolls. So if I right click, I can just cast it no matter what character I am. But you can, as a wizard, you can learn the spell, but you have to pay gold for it. So I don't have Otto's Irresistible Dance. Now, if I learn it, now I go to my spells, and you'll see, here it is. And so I can go equip it here. I can now equip my Otto's Irresistible Dance now. So all of these are, I was gonna say some of these are, there are scrolls out there that are not in anybody's spell list. So I have this one right here called the Scroll of Bestial Communion. This is not a spell you can learn aside from learning it from the scroll. And so you can cast it. If I want to, I can cast this, and it'll go away forever, or I can learn it. And now that I learn it, I get this conjuration spell where I can summon a diva. The wizard's really the only one that can do this on a regular basis. Now I got this diva following me that can do some pretty big damage with its attacks. It does a lot of radiant damage, has a lot of health, it can fly. So the wizard gets access to some really, really cool scrolls that I can memorize that no one else would have ever access to. Here's one, Scroll of Artillery of War. It does 12 d6 dice rolls plus another 36 of force damage. So I could also learn this spell, and now I have access to this special spell that no one else has access to. It's a really cool level 5 spell. So the wizard gets to get certain spells that no one else gets to, not only from leveling up, but also from reading super rare scrolls. And now I can start doing some of these absolutely incredible. I don't want to use my projected board. It's asking me for every shot if I want to use it. Yeah, see? So I could just, now I'm using this level 5 spell that you can only use once a short rest. But yeah, you can, I just did a bunch of damage to this diva of mine. Anyways, so yeah, the wizard gets access to certain spells that no one else gets access to. It gets a wide range of spells it can learn. It can always change its spell slots out, which the sorcerer and warlock can't. They have to do it when they level up. Yeah, it gets access to some really cool spells. It's more of a wide range of things that it can have. Comparatively to, the warlock, which I compare to like a shotgun, or a sorcerer, which can do a lot of damage in one turn. So it's not going to be the highest damage spellcaster out there, but it will be the spellcaster that can do it all, which can be obviously just as important as dealing as much damage as possible.